All right, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Excel spreadsheet software. I know that some of you have never used it. Some of you may have some exposure. Some of you are comfortable with it. Some of you are terrified of it. And that's been my experience over the last 20 years. We're going to use Excel mostly for our labs. And it'll be very basic. It won't be very demanding what I expect of you. There's two reasons why I'm using Excel. One is that it is a very common tool for office workers to use Excel in the workplace, and not just accounting people, but any people, okay? So I think it's helpful if you be exposed to it, and the more time you spend on it, the less intimidating it becomes. The second reason for using Excel is because the lab assignments, you have to be able to download them, make your changes, complete the assignment, and then upload it. And Excel is a very good vehicle for that, whereas paper labs would not do. So in any case, I'm going to give you a little bit of a quick introduction to Excel. If you have further questions, if you have further anxieties, there is, of course, many YouTube videos, but you can also send me an email. All right, so here we go. This is an Excel spreadsheet. You'll notice that it is a grid. It is set up to mimic an accounting worksheet, and it is versatile in that rows, columns and rows can be made different sizes and heights and things like that. So it's endlessly adjustable, but it's essentially set up to mimic accounting worksheets. When I look at an Excel spreadsheet, the first thing that happens to me is I look at all these buttons at the top and I just get totally confused. Okay? All these buttons at the top is called the ribbon. And with all the icons up top, it's very confusing, but the truth of the matter is I probably have never used more than a third of them. There's more there than you need to actually use, and the big trick is going to be discovering which ones you need to use and which ones you can just ignore until maybe someday you have need for it, in which case you'll say, wow, isn't that great that it's there? So up top we have these items here, and then underneath this we have a text menu. And each of these menus, I'm going to click on File now, and you'll notice I get a different pop-up. And then I go to Home, and I have this ribbon, and then I go to Insert. And you'll notice that the ribbon changes. So essentially, the ribbon works like a pull-down menu on these top-level menu items. We're going to spend most of our time living in the Home menu, okay? You'll see over here, here's copy and paste that you've learned from other Excel things. Here's the way to change, fonts and font sizes and colors and highlights and such. But let's take a look at a little bit more. Now notice down here at the bottom, okay, I have a couple of different tabs. So within a single Excel file, you can have multiple sheets. And the sheets can be interactive, they can be separate, but one file name can have multiple sheets. So I have one sheet that's called blank because it is blank. And then I have a sheet called terminology because I'm talking about terminology. Then I have a sheet called basic spreadsheet format because it gives you a look at what it would look like, okay? So let's go to terminology. So a spreadsheet is a grid consisting of column and rows, and every intersection of a row and column is called a cell. So here I have row B, cell 4. I click on that, and you'll notice that over here there is an address cell or a name box that says, oh, your cursor is now on cell B4. If I click up here, I'm on B3, I'm on B2, I'm on B1. I'll go back to B4. Every column is designated by a letter. Every row is designated by a number. The letter from the column and the number from the row is called the cell address. So that cell, that's all highlighted in yellow, is cell B4. I can put a lot of different things in a cell. I can put text, like words. I can put numbers, as in like values, or I can put a formula which, adds or subtracts or multiplies or divides other numbers in the spreadsheet. And I can format it. Up here I could use different fonts, or over here I could come to numbers and use different number formats. Okay, so you can customize the look of the spreadsheet highly. Okay, and that's one of the real strong things about Excel. The name, what's in a cell at any moment comes up here, appears here in the formula bar. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put in some letters, and you can see that they appear as letters. Okay, I'm going to hit the escape key to get out of that, and now I'm going to put in some numbers, and you notice it shows up as numbers. Again, I'm going to hit the escape key, and now I'm going to put in a formula equal to this plus this. Okay, now it shows up as being 0, but that's because there's nothing there. But if I put in 1 plus 1, my formula here says add those two numbers together. What makes Excel really powerful is that when I change this from a 1 to a 6, the formula changes automatically to a 7. Okay, and even though it appears on the screen as a 7, it appears here in the formula bar as a formula, telling me that what this cell is doing is it's adding these two together. It's not just showing a 7 because it's hard-coded in there. Okay, so each of these things up here has to do with formatting. Meantime, I want to just look at what a basic spreadsheet looks like. So here we go. I have Acme Industries, sales by product by region. I have 4 regions, north, south, east, and west. I have 4 products, blue, red, green, and yellow. And I want to be able to see how I can use Excel to make sense of this. So here I go. I want to tally up all the activity for north for all 4 products. Now, instead of going off to the side and calculating what this number would be, I can put a formula in the cell. And I always start a formula with an equal sign. Okay, so I'm going to put in an equal sign, and then I take my mouse and I click on that, and then I say plus. I click on that and I say plus. And I click on that and I say plus. And I click on that and I say plus. Tallies the 4 of them up and says it comes to 1004. There's a shortcut. I can come over here to where I see this auto sum. Looks like a Greek E. And it says, hey, let me tally up the numbers above. And it does the same. I can come over here and I can say copy and paste formulas. Okay, I can do that endlessly, and it allows me to, once I've got a common formula, I can just copy it across. I don't have to type it in over and over again. So I come over here again. I could do the equal sign and this plus this plus this plus this. Or I can come down here. I'm going to tally up all the blue across all 4 regions. Come over here, I hit the auto sum. And you notice the auto sum is saying, now do you want me to go up or do you want me to go across? It's not sure. It's taking a guess. So in this case, you have to be conscious. You have to actually look at what's happening. So I say, oh, no, Excel, that's not what I want. I want this. And then I hit enter, and it says, okay, I've got it. I come over here. I do it again. It says, okay, you want to go across. I said, yes, that's exactly right. Do it the last time. It says, now, do you want to go up? And I said, no, Excel, I want to go across. Okay. Now, one last thing. So now I've got my totals for each region, for each product. I look at these guys up here and I go, they look terrible because the numbers are all lined up on the right and the labels are all lined up on the left. Labels and text means the same thing, by the way. But I can come up here and this icon says left align. This one says center it. This one says right align it. So, right align looks best. And I can come over here and I can say, let me go to this borders icon and I can put a line in here showing that it's a total. And I can come over here and I can put a icon in there showing that it's a total. And you can go on and so on and so forth. So basically we have three things you can put in a cell. You can put in a label or text. You can put in a value or number, or you can put in a formula. And then beyond that, you can format it however you need to go. What we're going to do with the Excel labs is I'm going to designate which cells you can enter data in. I'll have built the formulas in already, so you don't have to worry about that. You'll put the data into the cells. You'll see what it looks like. One last thing I want to point out to you. See up top here, you see this backward arrow, and it says undo. So watch here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in a number, just stray number. I said, oh, goodness, I didn't want to put that in. Well, when I hit that undo button, it takes it out. And why do I care if it's complicated? Because at some point while you're doing this stuff, especially if you're a beginner, you're going to mess it up. You're going to key a number or a label or text in a spot where it doesn't belong. And you're going to go, oh, shoot, I messed up my spreadsheet. And then you're going to go, but I can hit the undo button and it will go back one move. It'll go back. In fact, if I hit the undo button 6 times, it'll undo 6 different things. There are some things that undo won't fix, but they're few and far between. So remember, the undo button is your friend. If you've already hit the enter button, if you already hit the enter key and you say, oh, that was a mistake, hit the undo button. If you haven't hit the enter key yet and you realize it's a mistake, hit the escape key. It's the top left-hand corner of your keyboard. Those 2 things are my 2 favorite moves on the entire keyboard. All right? So that's a short primer on Excel. As I said, there's much better stuff on YouTube, but this is enough to get you started on the labs. The more time you spend working in Excel, the less intimidated you'll be by the ribbon, the more you'll be able to concentrate on the work at hand. And then when you go into the workplace, you'll be able to use it productively. Maybe limited, but productive. And then the more you use it, the better you get at it. It's an important thing to learn. All right, that's it for tonight. Thanks.